Hi there, and welcome to this session looking at professional attitudes and behaviours. Now we're going to start today by looking at the subject of personal presentation. Now, it's very, very important to present yourself in the right way, right from when you're applying for a job to when you get the job, when you're employed and so on. What we know is that people make judgments about us based on our appearance. If we're smart and well presented, this will make it more likely that people will show us respect and take us seriously. Now, there are a number of basic aspects to personal presentation that you need to keep in mind within a professional environment. These include having good standards of hygiene and making sure your clothing is clean and appropriate. Personal presentation is also about how you present yourself physically. This means not slouching, standing up straight, standing still when someone's talking to you, keeping eye contact, and so on. Now, you have to remember, the way you present yourself sends a message about who you are as a person. This is why you need to ensure that your personal presentation standards are of a high level at all times. Employers may not like it if your standards of personal presentation are not kept high, particularly if you're in a customer-facing role. Now, we're going to look now at attitudes and behaviours. Now, your attitude in the workplace, to your work, to your colleagues, and to others around you is a vital part of what makes you a professional. Even if you have the best technical skills in the world, a bad attitude will result in you failing as an employee. Now, there are a number of broadly accepted attitudes and behaviours that all employers will expect and hope for in their employees. And the more you can exhibit these attitudes and behaviours, the more likely that you will do well and thrive at work. There are also some basic rules of behaviour that you should always stick to. Being on time is key. In addition, you should always be respectful of others. Be honest. Listen to others and show care to others. Many employers now recruit people based more on attitude than anything else. This means that from the first contact you have with an employer, say at a field visit or an interview, you need to demonstrate that you have the right attitude to be a success. There are also a number of attitudes and behaviours that are usually unacceptable within a professional environment. Some of these attitudes and behaviours may actually lead you to be dismissed. You need to understand what unacceptable attitudes and behaviours are, and you need to make sure that you do not show any of these at work. The attitudes and behaviours that you should aspire to in the workplace should also be reflected in how you live your life more broadly. You should treat others with respect, be supportive of others, listen to others, look after others, be thoughtful and empathic. These are qualities not only for the workplace, but for life. So I want to talk to you now about how to make a good impression. This is all part of what we mean when we talk about professional attitudes and behaviours. So first, and we talked about this earlier, be punctual, especially on the first day. Good timekeeping is very, very important. Be professional and businesslike from the moment that you arrive on the premises. Make an effort to understand the culture of the organisation. Learn how things happen and why. Take on as much of this, but also avoid going along with anything that compromises your own values. Be strong in what you believe too. Work hard. Show your employer and your colleagues that you value your job. Remember, you always have to prove yourself, particularly at the beginning of your career. Winning a job is no reason to take things easy, especially if there's an initial probation period where you're under close scrutiny. Look smart and dress appropriately at all times. If there is a relaxed dress code, that does not give you permission to be sloppy or careless about your appearance. And be enthusiastic and positive. Your manner, the way you are, affects other people. Nobody wants to work with someone who seems unhappy about being there. Ask questions. Be curious. If there's something you don't know, the best way to find out is to ask. Other people, especially your new boss, would rather you ask questions than pretend that you know something you didn't. Also, be a learner. Be passionate about learning, and don't be scared to ask others if you don't understand. Get to know the people around you. This doesn't mean that you have to become everyone's best friend. What's important is that you show an interest in other people and quickly learn the basics, such as their first name and what their role is within the organisation. And avoid being a know-it-all. Prove yourself by your actions rather than your words. So let's just summarise what we've been learning. Attitude is key to your chances of getting a job and to how well you'll do once you start working. Employers typically recruit for attitude and then train for skill. So switch the positive attitude on as soon as you arrive. Everyone loves working with someone with a good attitude. So if you have that good, positive attitude, you will go far. A good attitude is something everyone can bring. It's not difficult, and it can be adopted whoever you are. How you present yourself and how you behave in work shows others the kind of person that you are. If you behave like a professional, then you are a professional. Simple behaviours like listening, respecting other people, being considerate, being polite, these go a long way. It's all about becoming a professional, and we can do this from day one. So for your quick exercise today, I'd like you to do a simple self-assessment. I'd like you to think about your attitudes, the way that you behave towards other people. And I'd like you to think of 3 ways that you can improve your attitudes and behaviours. Perhaps it's about how you talk to people. Maybe it's about your timekeeping. Maybe it's about how you hold yourself, how you walk, how you carry yourself. How can you make yourself look and sound more like a professional? Write down those 3 things. Think about them carefully. Write them down.